Welcome everyone. And I want to talk about a topic we've spoken about before, but more in depth, about the power of repentance, but in a different way, in a deeper way. We have to understand something. What are all the relationships in our life really about? And why are they in our life? If you can remember this next concept for the rest of your life, you will be able to reach the highest of spiritual levels. The concept is this: every single person that comes into your life is there to show you what you need to change. They may be wrong, they may be a jerk, they may be totally unfair, but the reason why the Creator brought them into your life is to show you what it is that you need to change. And this is a very important concept to remember, because then you realize everything in this world is a lesson. And I need to take full responsibility if I want to be happy. The Rav Berg used to always say, do you want to be right or do you want the light? If you want to be right, you'll be dark. You'll be in a world of darkness, pain and suffering. If you want the light, well, you might have to be wrong. You might have to give up your opinion, but you'll at least have the light of the Creator. And you'll be happy. And great things will come to you. Great miracles will come to you. That's the first step of being on the spiritual path. The first step is accept the fact that everyone in this world is there to show you what it is that you can change, that we all can change. That's the first step. The second step is, how do I change? How do I change? And every time the Kabbalists used to go to bed at night, they would reflect upon their day and see what it is that they did right, that they did wrong, and what they could do better. Why? Because it says that every night when our soul elevates, the upper world judges our soul. And it looks at our soul and it says, what did he do the day before? According to what he did the day before is the challenges he needs to experience the next day. For example, if a challenge came to you to awaken your fear of abandonment or your anger, let's say, and you failed the test, you blamed the other person, you didn't take responsibility, then the upper world, it shows them that, you know what, this guy failed this test to transform his anger, so we must give him the same test the next day. And this is why a person experiences pattern after pattern after pattern of the same negativity, sometimes in different packages, sometimes with different people, just to mix it up a bit. But the problem and the pain is still the same thing. The challenge is still the same thing. And the lesson to be learned is still the same thing. If we want to embark on a path of change, we have to do what the Kabbalists did. And it says that not during the day, but only at night before we sleep, to reflect upon our day. I want you tonight to, on your bed, before you go to bed, I want you to take every hour of your day and ask yourself, maybe even write it down. Type it up, write it down. That's the best way to do it. And ask yourself, where was I insensitive? Where was I selfish? Where did I take a piece of the cake before I passed it around the table? Where was I into my worry and into my anxiety and into my thoughts of doubts? Because every time I'm in my doubts, I'm selfish. Even every time I get reactive to bad news and I'm worrying, that's reactive, that's selfish. And as a result, I'm disconnected from the light, and I need to take account of that before I go to bed. If I can take account of that, if I can do a 4-step process, which I'll explain to you, then I have transformed that very thing that I made a mistake on during that day. And if I've transformed it, then I don't have to face it again the next day. The Creator doesn't want us just to go through pain. The Creator wants us to learn the most powerful lessons of life. And if I can learn that by proactively thinking about my day, as opposed to having to go through more suffering, then that's a huge thing. That's a huge tool. That's a huge lesson. We must use this lesson every night so that we can avoid the pain and suffering that otherwise would have to teach us this lesson. The Creator doesn't want us to go through pain. Sometimes pain is the only option for us to listen. But if I can listen just by following the steps of repentance, spiritual, Kabbalistic repentance, well then, that's great. I won't have to go through pain and suffering anymore. So sitting on your bed, what are the 4 steps that a person can use in their life to transform their day as if it never even happened. The first step is to actually go back in time, to look at your day, to realize what it is that you did wrong. What was the mistake? To go back, visualize it, feel it, hear it, smell it. Go back to all your senses and experience that moment again. The second step is to feel the pain of what you did to the other person, to your soul, to the world. Try to feel the pain, to take responsibility that, yes, I caused pain to this person. Try to do that. That's very important. The third step is now to put in the new movie. What would you want to have happened if you had a choice to go back in time? Because at this moment, you can place the new cassette. Visualize in your mind being the most proactive version of yourself. Put in the new movie. This is the movie that they will see in the upper worlds before you go to sleep. Visualize, what is the most proactive person I could be? If I could reenact that scenario, if I could go back in time, and I could connect with the light force, what would I say? What would I do? How would I act? That's the third step, put in the new movie. The fourth step is a sincere commitment that you're never going to do that short circuit again. You're never going to be reactive like that again. A commitment, a sincere one in your heart. Because again, it's your soul that elevates, not your body. You can't just fake it. You need to, in your heart, make a commitment. You know what? I make a sincere commitment that I'm not going to do that anymore. But you know what? We always mess up. And we're always going to do it again, right? But at that moment, you need to believe that you're not. And even if you do it again, okay, no problem. Before you go to bed, you're going to, again, do your best, and you're going to transform the energy. And you need to be more and more sincere every time you do it. Your commitment needs to be more and more and more. If you practice this every night, or as many nights as you can, before you go to bed, your dreams will be clearer, your day will be better, your soul will be brighter, and the miracles will be greater in your life. I promise you this. This is what the great Kabbalists would do every night. The Kabbalists didn't want to have to go through unnecessary pain, and neither should we. We don't have to go through pain, but our soul does have a mission. Our soul does have a goal, an objective, and that is to become a perfect soul, to become a perfectly transformed soul. This is our destiny. This is where we are going to get to. And with the support of Kabbalah, and of course the spiritual tools that we're learning, we can get there in the fastest way with the least amount of pain, suffering, and chaos in our lives.